It was all too sudden. That night, my husband Kevin brought his mistress and their secret child home. I was baffled, even though it was some kind of joke. Then, Kevin looked at me and laughed mockingly. I'm cutting ties with an old foolish wife and a dumb kid. Here, a divorce paper. He slammed the divorce paper on the table. Laughing, Kevin left the house with his mistress and the child. I was left alone, simply dumbfounded. Then, my daughter Emily came. Cut ties? Do you even understand your worth? Emily, her face contorted in anger, grabbed the divorce paper. Emily? Then, let me teach you. Saying that, the curtain rose on her revenge play. My name is Grace, a 52-year-old housewife. My husband Kevin is a company employee, for years younger than me. One day, for no clear reason, Kevin started complaining about my being older. All my colleagues have younger wives. Why did I even marry such an old hag? I really picked up a failure. I must have made a wrong choice. I could only give a bitter smile. When we got married, Kevin understood that I was older. Now look at it, far from understanding, he keeps degrading me. Women should be young. I wonder if it's too late to divorce. Such a useless fool, I take some responsibility for picking her up, but this is just too much. When Kevin grabbed his bag, I said, "What about breakfast?" "I'll eat out, impossible to eat in such an old-smelling place. Besides, if the food were poisoned, it would interfere with my work." He slammed the living room door and left the house. I couldn't even see my husband off and just looked down. Still, trying to move forward, I went to wake up my daughter. "Emily, it's about time." When I opened the door to my daughter's room, she was already awake. "Mom, did Dad say some nonsensical things again?" "You should talk back." "It's okay, being quiet is fine. Besides, such behavior eventually comes back to haunt you. I'm not bothered by it. Come on, eat. You'll be late for school." "All right." Although Emily seemed dissatisfied, she didn't say anything. I enjoyed breakfast with my daughter. "Listen, Mom, about the clueless manager at my part-time job. Always flustered and timid, they really should get a better manager." "Hey, don't criticize people so easily. Everyone has their own personality." "Well, in that sense, Dad is a character too." "Calling Mom old hag is a personality? I don't need that kind of personality. If I were called that, I'd knock them down. Dad gets arrogant because you're like that. You could stand up to him more. Nobody would criticize you for it." "I won't say such things." "Look, you'll be late for the train." I hurried my daughter out. After she left for school, the house suddenly became very quiet. I muttered to myself while washing dishes. Well, staying silent while being called an old hag isn't good, but having a marital fight in front of my sweet daughter is something I hate. I want her to grow up more freely, without such gloomy stories. Well, it's also my fault for staying silent. After finishing the dishes, I checked the flyers tucked in the newspaper. Let's see, today's specials are. I did the laundry, cleaned, went shopping, and then prepared dinner. The day ended without any incidents or accidents. But that's fine. This ordinary life is what's important. Well, being able to live this life is thanks to Kevin, no matter the sarcasm. Can't fuss about just being talked down to. I think Dad is still needed for Emily, old-fashioned as it may be. It's a routine life, but it's secure. Then, my phone rang. I turned off the stove and looked at the phone. It was from Kevin. Yes? Grace? I'll be home late tonight, but I want you to stay up. What? Why? What's going on? Just stay up. I'll come home as soon as I can. The call ended there. I wondered what it was all about. Before I looked at the calendar, an idea struck me. This month is my birthday month. Could it be a birthday present? I couldn't help but grin, but then I dismissed the thought. It hurts to be wrong when you're hopeful, but I couldn't help but expect. Mom? What's up? What are you smiling about? Just then, my daughter Emily came home. Oh, nothing. Come on. What happened? Tell me. It's a secret. Now, shall we have dinner? I tried to hide my overwhelming joy as best as I could. Dinner that night was usual Japanese cuisine. I could have made something fancy, but I didn't have the time. Mom, you're definitely acting weird. What? Was the dinner not good? No, you just seem happy. Something must have happened, right? You have to share your happiness, or it won't come back to you. Come on, what is it? Dad, maybe he's planning to celebrate my birthday. I talked about the phone call I had earlier and also about this month. Oh, that might be true. I hope so. Mom, you're grinning. I hope it's true, you know. Good and bad things come in turns. I waited for my husband's return, feeling excited. Emily went upstairs, saying she was awake and headed to her room. I watched a recorded drama while boiling water, ready for Kevin's return. I planned to pamper coffee-loving Kevin. He came back, but the footsteps sounded different. And there was a woman's voice. What? Your master has returned. Good evening. I'm Vanessa. Entering the living room was Kevin, holding an unfamiliar woman. And the woman who introduced herself as Vanessa had a baby on her back. Could it be an affair? What's going on here? Then, Kevin looked at me and laughed mockingly. I'm cutting ties with an old foolish wife and a dumb kid. Here, a divorce paper. He slammed a piece of paper on the table. It was, unmistakably, a real divorce paper. I felt numb and couldn't find the words. The words birthday present crumbled away with a crash. Laughing, Kevin and Vanessa headed for the entrance. I followed them. Why? Why are you doing this? Just file the divorce papers. I'll take your husband. Kevin and Vanessa said that as they left the house. I was left alone, simply dumbfounded. Mom? Are you okay? Then, my daughter Emily arrived. I was foolish to have expected that. But how could I explain this to my daughter? Cut ties? Do you even understand your worth? Emily, her face twisted in anger, picked up the divorce papers. Emily? Then, let me teach you. The next morning, I signed the divorce papers as Emily had instructed. I hesitated to sign the divorce papers, but Emily's words, "I have a plan," made me finish writing. And so, I visited a lawyer to proceed with the divorce. Mom, just watch, I'll handle this. I'll make that jerk of a father realize he's the one who's fallen into hell. Just leave it to me. I'm good at making plans, don't worry. Leave everything to me. I'll definitely bring him down to hell. I followed my daughter's advice. But not knowing what she planned to do, I still had my worries. I'm worried, not just about Emily's actions, but whether I can stay in this house, or even about the child's paternity acknowledgement. Well, I have no choice but to leave it to her. It was a troubling time, but then one day, Kevin came back to this house for the first time since the divorce. Looking like he was about to explode. What the hell is this? Vanessa says she wants to break up with me. Everything was going so well. Suddenly, she says she can't get married. Instead, she just wants paternity acknowledgement, like I'm some kind of stud. She says it's because of you and your stupid daughter. Hey, don't just stand there, say something, you old woman. You know something, don't you? You must have said something. That's the only explanation. What? What are you talking about? I played dumb as Emily had instructed me beforehand. I was told to say nothing rash and seek help from outside if necessary. Don't play dumb. It's so obvious. Your acting has limits. It's malicious. Do you hate seeing me happy that much? Is that why you're harassing me? Kevin glared at me with a look that could cut like a knife. Unintimidated, I spoke up. I haven't done anything. Isn't it a misunderstanding? You two were so lovey-dovey, and there's already a child, right? Isn't it strange for you to be saying this to us now? Maybe your mistress has come to feel something about her actions. But to change her attitude so suddenly, you must be jealous, you whore. Spit it out, what did you say? Shut up, you idiot. Just then, Emily came home. Hello. How are you? Coming to this house after you left, such a dirty man. What have you two been telling Vanessa? It's disgusting. What have you told my beloved woman while I was at work? Grace, tell me the truth, you must have said something. It was me who said something to Vanessa. Suddenly, Kevin turned to face Emily. What? What did you say? Are you that bitter about my happiness? Huh. How disgraceful. No. I just gave Vanessa a little bit of a scolding, that's all. I didn't raise a hand or hit her. Emily smirked, seeming to enjoy this. Kevin was grinding his teeth. Tell me. What did you say to her? What did you do? All I could do was stand there, fumbling and nervous. But interfering might have ruined Emily's plan. I had no choice but to watch how things unfolded. Kevin began to rant. It was as if he was unleashing his anger. A dumb kid messing with the person I love. You've ruined my life. Oh, sorry. I'm a student and top of my class. What? No way. Because you're Grace's daughter, no way you could get into an elite university like me. It's decided. I kept quiet because you seemed uninterested in your daughter, but I have an IQ of 180. Didn't you know that? And you failed 3 times before getting into that elite university, and still couldn't make it past sophomore year, just kept failing. Who's the disgrace? Current student versus 3-time dropout? Don't underestimate my network of information. Emily kept nagging. Kevin didn't like that. What did you do to Vanessa? You scoundrel woman. That's horrible. That's how you treat your daughter. That's like verbal domestic violence, isn't it? Scary. You know, there are all sorts of people in the world, and among my friends, there are those who enjoy tracking down addresses. Addresses? No way. That's not something easily traceable. So, tell me, how did you find it out? Through a detective agency? With a grin, Emily faced a shell-shocked Kevin. Vanessa posted a photo on social media, and from that, I deduced her address. Scary, right? These days, just from a photo, you can reveal someone's identity. Vanessa loves social media. With just those photos, it was super easy to figure out her origins and address. Emily continued to talk. Kevin's mouth hung open in disbelief. I timed it to when you were at work, and yes, I stormed into Vanessa's house. What? What are you saying? So, that's when you caused her harm. What a horrible person you are. What you're doing is the lowest of the low. Vanessa was quite puzzled, but when I told her, you'll lose out if you don't listen, she let me into her house. Funny, isn't it? People react more to potential losses than gains. Vanessa kept talking about her love for you. I am more loved. You're just the daughter of the woman he left. Since there's a child, never get involved again. Gross. So, I just had a little chat with her. Well, apart from you, he has other mistresses, and there's been a lot of fuss over whether or not to have abortions with other mistresses. He's addicted to gambling, in debt for $200,000, secretly an alcoholic, has been violent towards his ex-wife, and if the mafia found out about it, both you and your father might get erased, you know. Emily said it all with a smile. Why would you lie about that? I didn't do any of those things. Your slander is going to ruin me. It's defamation at its worst. Wait, listen closely. Didn't Vanessa just misunderstand something? Maybe someone else, someone like you? Is it really my fault? I might have been kicked out of a third-rate university, but even I can understand that much. I silently applauded Emily in my mind. It was all a bluff, a ruse to make Kevin want to break up. What a clever daughter. Then Emily glanced at her watch. Hey! Look at me! Why are you checking the time so much? Isn't it about time? You'll be getting a call on your cell soon. Watching this, Kevin grew even more irritated. What's with you checking the time? Aren't you listening to me? You've practically ruined my life. Yes, of course. After this, you'll be thanking me. No way. After all you've done, it's because of you. Just then, Kevin's phone really did ring. He paused before answering. Yes. Now? I'm just taking a break outside. What? What do you mean? What? That's impossible. I haven't done anything. Cheating? Fired? But I don't recall photos, videos, recordings. No, it's not like that. I was just talking to the finance department. Please wait. Let me explain. Kevin froze. It seemed the call had ended on the other end. After hanging up, Kevin, shaking, turned to Emily. What's this about? Why does the boss know everything? What's that? Ready to thank me? It makes sense, right? Cheating with Vanessa from the finance department and even having a child. Bad for public image, right? The company would think so too. Finding the boss's email address is a piece of cake. What did you tell the boss? Thanks to you, I'm fired. I didn't say anything. I just sent videos of you and Vanessa getting cozy and your comments about leaving my mom to the boss's email. Well, using the boss was a bit much. Oh? Did I say something wrong? Hey! Oh, by the way, I've invited a friend over. Will you meet him? No way, you foolish daughter. That's too bad, isn't it? Silly father. What? Emily clapped her hands, and a young man in a suit entered the living room. He had an earnest demeanor. Nice to meet you, I am affiliated with this law firm. The young man handed Kevin a business card. Kevin turned pale without even reading what was on it. A law firm? I've recorded our entire conversation. This document details the ones you owe from division of property. Please make the payment as specified. Even if you tear this up, your obligation to pay doesn't change, so no hard feelings. Or should we factor in the abusive language just now? It would affect the amount. So what? You're gonna do that? Hit me, or this guy, or mom? Want to lash out and end up in jail? Isn't it better for you now to go to your company and apologize? Oh, and by the way, the data I sent to your boss has spread to every computer in the office like a sort of virus. Don't worry. It won't interfere with operations. Well, it might disrupt your life, though. Better hurry to the office before your mistress dumps you, huh? Maybe go defend yourself? Kevin made a bitter face and left the house. In the silent living room, Emily's laughter echoed. See? Just like I said. Now Mom will get her property. Emily, but about the lawyer's fee. Oh, sorry, I'm not actually a lawyer. What? But I'm a graduate of law school and Emily invited me. I'm still just a law student, thought it would be a good experience, and I'm covering the costs. The young man blushed, clearly embarrassed. I never said this person was a lawyer, did I? You heard, right, Mom? Oh, we can stop recording now. Yes, I can't win against Emily. By now, there must be chaos at the company. From finance to sales to HR, every computer has got the cheating photos and recordings. He's definitely getting fired. I was amazed by my daughter's capabilities. But somehow, it all made sense. After all, this daughter of mine topped the mock exams in junior high and high school, acquired multiple difficult qualifications while applying to universities, and speaks French, Italian, Chinese, and English. By the way, Mom. Yes? I have a favor. Some friends helped with this, and I want to pay them for their part-time work, but my earnings aren't enough. Could you lend me some money? I'll pay you back diligently with my part-time job. Sure. You don't have to pay it back. We won't be short on money. But I want to pay it back. I must return what I borrowed. We both laughed. It's all thanks to my friends, and my acting was pretty incredible, wasn't it? Indeed, I can't argue with you. Now good things are coming to Mom too. Emily sent the young law student home, and we went shopping together. Today we dined out extravagantly. We went to a high-end restaurant and enjoyed a meal together. It had been a long time since I felt refreshed. After leaving the upscale restaurant, it was dark outside. Emily and I walked home straight. Our smiles were genuinely refreshing. The next morning, I sent Emily off to school and started cleaning the house. I was still unsure if we'd keep the house, but I trusted Emily with that. The incident happened around noon. I was alone when the doorbell rang. Who is it? As I opened the door, a person barged in forcefully. It was Vanessa. Hey! What are you going to do about this? Holding a child, Vanessa yelled. It was the first time I saw someone yell while holding a child. But I braced myself, knowing this was a critical moment. What's the matter? What do you need here? I don't need anything from you, and I plan to keep it that way. What? Because of your daughter, I got fired from the company. I was planning to take maternity leave. And Kevin has dumped me. Isn't it absurd for you to be telling me this? Weren't you the one who said you couldn't get married to him? And now you blame others. How is that fun for you? Absurd? It's your daughter's fault. What are you going to do about it? It takes money to raise a child. And now I've been fired. How am I supposed to feed myself? What, should I eat weeds? You monster. Devil. Yes, I raised a daughter too, so I understand. But isn't it a bit much to steal someone's husband and then talk like that? What did you say? And you, it's sad to see, in front of your child no less, blaming everyone else for what you yourself have done. I don't know if you're going to be a single mother now, but how can you say such things in front of your child? What? I have no one to take care of my child. I plan to live with Kevin, but he's gone. I've said it many times, but you listened to rumors and said you couldn't get married, right? Isn't that self-inflicted? No matter how you look at it. What? I'm not leaving this house. Give me back my life and Kevin. Kevin, you're here, aren't you? Shameless thief. Do you even understand your situation? When Vanessa tried to force her way in, I finally snapped at her. It was like venting everything I had been holding back. The child began to cry. He seemed no older than 2. Given the child's age, it seems you've been involved with my ex-husband for a while? Don't blame others for your own faults. You filthy thief. Get out now. Kevin isn't here. You think you are more loved? Aren't you embarrassed by such nonsense? You've caused us harm too because of your actions. Get out, you thief. If you come again, I'll sue you for damages. I'm not doing it now only because I'm showing you mercy. You should know your place, you shameless woman. Vanessa glared at me as if she wanted to say something, but I didn't back down. I was not wrong, and I would not back down. I hadn't said anything incorrect. The child wailed. It was pitiful, as if he were scared. Vanessa, soothing the child in her arms, slowly backed away. Her face looked like she might cry any moment, but that was irrelevant. With a frustrated look, Vanessa left the house. I was surprised at myself for being able to speak to Kevin's mistress like that. But it felt liberating. I had been hesitant and nervous in front of Kevin, but following my honest conscience led to this. Thanks to my daughter Emily, I felt like I had become stronger. I didn't know if Vanessa would come back, but at least she probably wouldn't for a while. I needed to report this to Emily. She came over? She's got some nerve. After all the threats, she came to resist on her own. Strange woman. When I told Emily about Vanessa during dinner, Emily responded nonchalantly as if it was indeed true but none of her business. But isn't it her own fault? It's like she stole someone else's property. The only one to pity is the child. It's not uncommon nowadays to have only one parent, but from the child's perspective, it's like having no father. Well, if you can say that much, Mom, you've become strong. I can leave the house without worrying. Emily munched on her soup and muttered. This was fine. It meant that both Kevin and his mistress were out of our lives. I later heard rumors that Kevin had been cut ties by his own family. Originally, Kevin was quite disliked by his father, especially after being expelled from university. Well, a lot of tuition money had been spent by then. And now, with the mistress and the pregnancy and divorce scandal, he was finally cut ties after his father lost his temper. When I called my mother-in-law, she cried and apologized. I'm sorry. Because of our stupid son, please live in that house, Grace and Emily. If you ever need money, just ask us. Will you still meet us? Emily and Grace are innocent. Thank you. Both my mother-in-law and father-in-law are reasonable people. They fully recognize what's wrong, so I can trust them. One day, my in-laws came to the house and apologized. Although I divorced, I promised my in-laws that they could still see their granddaughter, Emily. They cried and criticized their son while apologizing to Emily. Grandpa and Grandma are not to blame. It's all because of that foolish father. Emily, I'm so sorry. Afterward, Emily successfully graduated and went on to graduate school. She continues to excel academically and is now researching AI. Kevin hasn't shown his face since, but we can manage our lives. I'm naturally frugal and good at saving. And now I have enough savings to live comfortably without working. One time, Emily and I went on a trip together. Is it okay, Mom? You can go on a solo trip if you want. No, I wanted to invite you on this trip. I can live this stress-free life all thanks to you, Emily. You're my pride and joy, thank you. That makes me happy. Oh, and I heard through the grapevine that foolish man is living in a town 3 places over. Really? I was shocked by the sudden news. Yes, do you want to go see him? No, that's okay. Why not? Let's go see. It's not a spectacle, Emily. It's wrong to do that just for amusement. Mom, you're so serious. I would have gone immediately, but you're right, there's no need to stoop to that level. I'll reflect on that. You understand well. That's my girl. Emily and I swam in the sea, washing away the fatigue of the past.